What if I told you there's a liquid in your kitchen cabinet right now that can push back against the metabolic slowdown that hits after menopause? It crosses your intestine quickly, smooths out the sharp insulin spikes after meals, and gently nudges your body toward burning fat instead of storing it deep around your organs. And the reason your doctor rarely talks about it isn't because there is zero science. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what the peer-reviewed research actually says, how one compound, acetic acid from apple cider vinegar, works at the metabolic level, and the precise protocol that amplified visceral fat loss in human trials over 8 to 12 weeks. We are going to cover 4 things: why postmenopausal biology creates a visceral trap, the 5 mechanisms by which acetic acid reshapes your metabolism, the clinical trials where vinegar and apple cider vinegar improved visceral fat markers, and the 1 tablespoon-in-water protocol, and the one mistake that quietly kills most of the benefit. Before we go further, take 2 seconds and check if you are subscribed. I hear from people every week who watched several of these videos and were never subscribed. Let's start with why postmenopausal biology creates what I call a visceral trap. After menopause, 3 parallel threats converge in your body. Most women know about 1. Almost nobody knows about all 3. The first is estrogen withdrawal. Estrogen isn't just a sex hormone, it's a traffic controller for where fat gets stored. In premenopausal women, higher estrogen levels help send fat toward the hips and thighs. After menopause, circulating estrogen typically drops dramatically, often by well over half, and that traffic pattern reverses. Think of estrogen as the traffic light that used to direct fat to your hips. When the lights go out, more traffic is diverted to your belly. The result is a shift in fat from the hips and thighs toward the abdomen, including deeper visceral fat around the liver, pancreas, and intestines. Subcutaneous fat is the pinchable layer under your skin. Visceral fat is more like a tight inner belt wrapping your organs. When that belt thickens, it squeezes your metabolism in the wrong direction. The second threat is a decline in GLUT4 translocation. GLUT4 is the insulin-regulated glucose transporter that pulls glucose into your muscle and fat cells. Picture GLUT4 as little doors on the surface of your cells. When insulin knocks, these doors open and let sugar walk from your bloodstream into the cell, where it can be burned for energy. After menopause, insulin sensitivity in skeletal muscle tends to drop, and GLUT4 becomes less responsive. That means fewer doors open when insulin knocks. More sugar stays out in the street of your bloodstream for longer, and with chronic high insulin, more of that excess ends up stored as fat, often in the central region. The third threat is increased lipoprotein lipase activity, or LPL, in belly fat. LPL is an enzyme sitting on the surface of fat cells that grabs triglycerides out of the blood and pulls them inside. Imagine each fat cell wearing a tiny grease sponge on its surface. The more active that sponge is, the more fat it soaks up from your circulation. Before menopause, estrogen helps keep those sponges in the belly area from working too aggressively. When estrogen declines, that brake loosens. Your abdominal fat cells can act like more efficient sponges, soaking up and storing more fat from every meal. When you put these 3 together, estrogen withdrawal, fewer GLUT4 doors opening, and more aggressive LPL sponges in the belly, you get higher fasting and post-meal glucose, more circulating triglycerides, and a visceral fat bed that is primed to store, not release, energy. That is the visceral trap of postmenopause. Now let's talk about how acetic acid actually works on your metabolism. The ingredient at the heart of this effect is acetic acid, the main active compound in apple cider vinegar. It is not a magic bullet, but it is a low-cost metabolic modulator with several mechanisms described in both animal and human studies. Mechanism 1. AMPK activation, the battery manager. AMPK, adenosine monophosphate activated protein kinase, is the cell's low-energy sensor. Think of AMPK as your cell's battery manager. When the battery looks low, AMPK turns off energy-wasting functions and turns on systems that burn stored fuel, especially fat, to recharge. Acetic acid is converted to acetyl-CoA in the liver. That conversion slightly shifts the cell's energy balance and can help switch AMPK on. When that battery manager wakes up, it gently nudges your metabolism toward using stored fat and improving how your body handles sugar, instead of constantly storing more. Mechanism 2. Reduced de novo lipogenesis, fewer fat bricks. In the liver, high insulin and high carbohydrate intake drive de novo lipogenesis, the creation of new fat from glucose. It's like taking excess sugar and turning it into little fat bricks that are shipped out and stacked inside your belly. Experimental work suggests acetic acid can dampen key enzymes that build those fat bricks, such as acetyl-CoA carboxylase and fatty acid synthase. In animal models of obesity and insulin resistance, vinegar intake has been associated with lower liver triglyceride content and less visceral fat. In simple terms, your liver makes fewer new fat bricks, so fewer bricks get shipped to your waistline. Mechanism 3. Delayed gastric emptying, from fire hose to steady stream. Several human studies have shown that vinegar, including apple cider vinegar, taken with meals slows gastric emptying, how fast food leaves your stomach, and blunts the post-meal glucose spike. Think of this as turning a fire hose of sugar into a slower, steady stream your body can handle more calmly. A slower stream means your pancreas doesn't have to blast out as much insulin all at once. Lower and smoother insulin responses mean less pressure to store calories aggressively as visceral fat. Many participants in these trials also reported reduced appetite and better fullness after meals. Mechanism 4. Improved lipid profile and visceral adiposity index. In a randomized clinical trial of overweight and obese adults, adding 30 milliliters of apple cider vinegar daily to a modest calorie-restricted diet, compared with diet alone, led to greater reductions in body weight and BMI, waist and hip circumference, visceral adiposity index, and plasma triglycerides, with an increase in HDL, the good cholesterol. Those changes match the pattern you see when visceral fat is shrinking, not just water weight dropping. Mechanism 5. Gut-liver axis tuning. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid plus small amounts of polyphenols and other organic acids. Early research suggests these may help modulate the gut microbiota and gut barrier function. A healthier gut environment reduces the constant low-grade inflammation that pushes the body toward insulin resistance and visceral fat storage. You can think of it as taking some noise out of the communication line between your gut and your liver, so the signals are calmer and your body is slightly more biased toward burning fuel instead of hoarding it. If you made it this far, you already understand more about these pathways than most people in a waiting room. Subscribe and share this with someone over 45 who needs to hear it. Now let's talk about real human data. No miracles, no hype, just what was measured. One of the most cited vinegar studies from Japan looked at adults with overweight. Participants were randomized to consume either vinegar or a placebo drink every day for 12 weeks while keeping their usual diet. The vinegar groups, at 15 milliliters and 30 milliliters per day, lost more weight, reduced BMI, and had greater decreases in waist circumference and visceral fat area compared with the placebo group. The differences weren't dramatic, but they were real and statistically significant. More recently, a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial in Lebanese adolescents and young adults with overweight and obesity tested daily apple cider vinegar for 4 to 12 weeks. All ACV doses led to significant reductions in weight and BMI, waist and hip circumference, body fat ratio, and blood glucose, triglycerides, and cholesterol levels. Put simply, when people with extra weight added ACV to their routine, especially alongside a modest calorie deficit, they lost more around the waist and improved their metabolic numbers more than those who didn't take ACV. Over 8 to 12 weeks, adding daily vinegar or apple cider vinegar to a reasonable diet produced roughly an extra 10 to 20% improvement in weight and waist-related measures, including indices linked to visceral fat compared with diet alone. That's not a miracle cure, but in a postmenopausal body biased towards central fat storage, this same diet edge is worth using. Acetic acid doesn't replace dietary changes, movement, or medical treatment. Evidence shows it modestly amplifies calorie-controlled weight loss, central fat reduction, and key metabolic markers when combined with a sensible plan. Now, let me give you the protocol distilled from those clinical trials. It's simple, but there is one critical mistake that ruins it for many people. Use unfiltered, raw apple cider vinegar with about 5 to 6% acetic acid, which is the standard strength used in most studies. The brand doesn't matter as much as the acetic acid percentage and proper dilution. A practical target is 1 tablespoon, about 15 milliliters, of apple cider vinegar per day, diluted in water. Most positive trials used between 15 and 30 milliliters per day, often alongside a modest calorie deficit. If you tolerate it well and your doctor has no concerns, going up toward 2 tablespoons per day, divided around meals, is still within the range used in research. Mix 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a large glass of water, about 250 to 300 milliliters. Optionally, add a splash of lemon or a pinch of cinnamon for taste. Sip this shortly before or with one of your main meals, especially a meal that contains carbohydrates. If your stomach is sensitive, split it into 3 teaspoons before meals, totaling 1 tablespoon per day. Most of the successful studies have 2 things in common. Vinegar was taken with meals or just before meals, not randomly at bedtime with no food. It was diluted in plenty of water, not swallowed straight from the bottle. Taking vinegar straight is like pouring pure lemon juice on your teeth and throat every day. Too strong, too direct. It can damage tooth enamel and irritate your esophagus and stomach. Diluting it in a full glass of water softens that burn and still gives you the metabolic benefits seen in studies. So the simple rule is, dilute and pair with your meal. That is where you get the appetite and blood sugar benefits that indirectly support visceral fat loss. If you have a history of gastric ulcers, erosive esophagitis, severe reflux, or if you take medications that strongly affect stomach acid, talk to your physician before starting. If you're on diabetes medication or insulin, adding ACV can change your glucose response, so your doctor needs to know. For most postmenopausal women with some extra central weight, the 1 tablespoon-in-water protocol, combined with a modest calorie deficit and regular movement, is one of the simplest, lowest-cost interventions that has shown measurable but modest improvements in weight, waist, and metabolic health in clinical trials. Before you go, if this kind of evidence-based, mechanism-by-mechanism analysis is useful to you, subscribe and give this video a like. Next video covers what happens when you combine this 1 tablespoon-in-water protocol with a specific 8-hour eating window. The interaction between acetic acid, meal timing, and insulin patterns may push visceral fat loss further in a way no single intervention achieves alone. Comment below with your biggest question, or tell me if you have tried apple cider vinegar before. I read every comment. Your questions shape what I research next. Keep investigating. See you in the next one.